Hi everyone, Tom Moffett here. Welcome to BUS 140 Business Communications. I will be your instructor for the course. In this course, we will be studying some of the traditional methods of business communications, things like letters and memos. You'll also get some practice using some of the newer tools like blogs and web conferencing. You'll work on a team project to get experience using skills that you'll use in your professional work. The overall goal is to identify and improve on business communication skills that will be important to you in the 21st century work environment. Well, when you log in, the first thing you're going to see is the home page, which you see here. I encourage you to take some time to explore each of the menu items in the left navigation column over here, especially if this is your first online class. You'll pay special attention to announcements, modules, and discussions. I make lots of announcements, so be sure to check the announcements on a regular basis, at least 3 to 4 times a week. You can get to announcements by simply clicking on the course announcements link here. That will take you to announcements, any announcements that have been posted, or you can also use the announcements navigation link here. It takes you to the same place. Let's take a look at the modules page. At the very top of the modules page is a course calendar. And when you open the course calendar, you'll see the assignments, the due dates in the middle column, and the points. You can also print the course calendar. There's a link at the top that will let you print a hard copy if you'd like that for your reference. For example, also in Module 1, these are the assignments. In the middle column has the due dates for the assignments, and then the right-hand column has the points associated with each of those assignments. You'll see in discussions, there's 2 dates posted. The first date is the due date for your initial post, and then the second date is the due date for replies to classmates. And a minimum of 2 replies is required for each discussion. So each of the modules is laid out essentially the same way. The assignments, the due dates, the points associated with that. You'll see here in Module 4, this is the proctored quiz that is required for each course. So let's go back to modules again. Take a look at some of the other things that are in here. Here's a discussion rubric. Tells you how the discussions are graded. Here's getting started. These sections in here talk about Connect and how to register for Connect and what that means. The next area is proctoring. I mentioned that the 4.4 quiz is the proctoring requirement for this course. If you're not familiar with proctoring, please review these sections in here, and they'll explain to you how to schedule your proctoring event to take that quiz, and also if you're going to do that off-site other than using ProctorU, there's some instructions to do that also. We have a presentation project which comes in Module 13 and 14, and this describes the specifics of the presentation project. Now we get to each of the modules. First one is establishing credibility. The first section in here, when you open that link, tells you a little bit about establishing credibility. The overview explains what that section is about, what that module is about, and it includes the objectives for the section. We also have in here a video that by the author of the text. It talks about establishing credibility or whatever the topic is that we're studying in that module. And then you have, except for the introduction discussion, underneath that you'll have reading assignments and then the assignments to be completed. If you open, for example, the fair test assignment, the 1.3 fair test assignment, it'll describe that, what's required to complete that assignment. You go to page 21 in a textbook, then that page takes you to evaluation exercises, and then you'll look for 1.15 evaluation exercise, and it will describe what's required. If you're using the electronic textbook instead of the hard copy, either one, the page number should be compatible. In other words, 21 in the text should also be 21 in the electronic version of the textbook. And then underneath that is the a rubric for that particular assignment. Then there's the discussion. If you look down at Module 2, you see it's laid out the same way, except in Module 2 you'll have your first Connect quiz, and registering for Connect is required for this course. So we have to do that. When we get to the group assignment, which is in the first part, or the first group assignment is in Module 4, you can read some things about the group assignment in here. Essentially, that's going to ask you to register for a particular group, and you can join whichever group you would like. And then Module 4 the same way, Module 5, and so forth. There are 2 tests other than the quizzes in the course. There's a midterm exam, and when that's available, you can open that midterm exam and take that. That's not a proctored event, but you can take that. And then the other exam is the comprehensive final. It comes at the end of the class, final exam right here. And then there is a study guide for the final exam here. You can open that link and that'll take you to the study guide. Here's some additional resources for you. So I also mentioned that I make available online office hours using Zoom, which is the teleconferencing tool that we use. And those online office hours are available on request. So just let me know if you'd like to meet with me online, and we'll arrange a time and a date when we can both get together, and then we can talk back and forth and share files. I can see what you have that you're interested in, or what you have a question about, and I can share some files with you that will probably help address that question or your questions also. And we can do that in real time using Zoom. So that comes at the bottom here. The other thing I'd like to point out is back up in discussions. Scroll back up to the top here. You go to the discussions tab. At the very top of the discussions page is Student Commons. If you have any questions about the course, I'd ask you to post it in Student Commons. You simply do that by clicking reply. Put your question in here. Post questions about the course here. And then click post reply, and I will be notified that there's a question that you have about the course, and I can get back to you. There's a couple of reasons I like to use the Student Commons forum for questions about the class. One is if I can't get back to you fairly soon, that perhaps one of your classmates knows the answer to your question, and they can post a reply in here, and you'll get a response more quickly than if you're waiting for me. The other reason being, if one of your classmates has a similar question, then they can see the response to your question, and perhaps it would help them out also and be more timely. So that's why we use Student Commons for questions about the course. Now, if you have a question that's more personal in nature, such as a question about grades, then just send me an email at moffittc at otc.edu, and then I'll respond to your question. I would also mention that please use your OTC email for any email contact that you'd like to make. The filters are set up so that any other email program might not get through, and so I may not know that you have a question. So OTC email is the way to contact me using email. Speaking of grades, open the grades link here. I should mention also about grades. Here's each of the assignments. And every time you submit an assignment, you will get feedback from me, and you'll get feedback on every assignment that you submit, except for the quizzes, and those are auto-graded. The Connect quizzes are auto-graded. But the other assignments, you'll get feedback, and once I've responded to your post or your submission, whichever the case may be, then you'll see my comments. There will be a link in here that you can see my comments, and you can see which grades or how many points have been applied for that assignment. So I would encourage you also that if you don't understand my comments or you have questions about the grades, please let me know. I'm more than willing to explain why you got something less than 10. That also brings to mind the Connect quizzes. Any Connect quiz that you take, you can complete those quizzes as many times as you like to get the maximum number of points. And usually with Connect quizzes, they're worth 10 points. So if you get something less than 10, you can go back and redo that quiz as many times as you like until you get the maximum points allowed. And you can do that anytime up until the due date. Well, that's enough to get us started. So I will see you next week. And if you have any questions, please let me know.